Good evening and thank you. Again, my name is Jackie Dzelski. I'm the President and CEO here at the Manatee Chamber, and thank you so much for joining us for the 56th Annual Chamber Dinner, as well as the 2nd Annual Robert P. Bartz Award for Outstanding Leadership. It is going to be such a special evening as we celebrate legacy and vision and all that is to come, thanks to the generosity and involvement of the business community in ensuring that Manatee County is the very best place to live, work, play, and own a business. The first thing I would like you all to do now that you've gotten seated is please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much. There are many companies and organizations that made our 56th annual dinner a possibility tonight. As you've seen, if you looked around the room and anyone was doing a head count, we've surpassed 630 attendees tonight. So thank you all for being here. It takes a lot of partners to make that happen, and on screen you will see a number of the sponsors. Please allow me to recognize them here from the podium. Their investment is critical to not just tonight's event, but to the mission of the Chamber. I will read them. We'll save our applause until the end. The presenting sponsor for this evening's festivities is the Bradenton Herald. Our cocktail reception sponsor, Feld Entertainment. Our corporate sponsors, Florida Power and Light, the Mosaic Company, the Realtors Association of Sarasota, Manatee Counties, and State College of Florida. We have a number of event sponsors, and again, you'll find their recognition in our printed program as well as on screen, so I will read through a hefty list. That is Alliance IT, Bank OZK, Bells, the Bradenton Area Convention Center, CCAV, Copeland's Insurance, Duncan Real Estate, Esposito Law Group, Encompass Health Rehabilitation Hospital, Fundraising Auctions, Juniper Landscaping, Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine, better known as LECOM, Manatee Educational Television, our great friends at METV who are filming and helping us with AV tonight, the Palmetto Companies, Manatee Fruit Company, Nothing Bunt Cakes, got to be careful when you say that. You'll see tasty treats, we'll talk about those later on your tables, Suncoast Gems, the Bank of Tampa, Tidewell Hospice, Tropicana Products, and your CBD store of Bradenton. And a big thank you also to our catering sponsor, Pier 22. Greg Campbell and his team have been working all day today to ensure that we have a delicious meal served to 630 people in 20 minutes or less, I've been told this evening. Every Chamber member's investment is critical to the mission and to offering opportunities for you to connect and hear more about how your efforts and initiatives make a difference in our community. But there is a very special group of Chamber members that are members of our Chairman's Circle. They make significant additional investment in our Chamber, and so I'm going to share with you our Platinum, Gold, Silver, and Bronze level Chairman's Circle members, and please help me thank them. Blaylock Walters, Matt Plummer, thank you so much for that investment. Carr, Riggs, and Ingram, Byron Shin. Center State Bank, Cindy Dennison. Manatee County Government, Commissioner Steve Johnson and Ed Hunziker. Manatee Memorial Hospital, Kevin DeLallo. MCR Health and All Care Options, Patrick Carnegie. The Mosaic Company, Jackie Barron is with us. NDC Construction Company, Ron Allen. The Pittsburgh Pirates and Bradenton Marauders, Jeff Podobnik, Raymond James Wealth Management, Bruce Body, and Sarasota Bradenton International Airport, Rick Piccolo. So if you could please give those Platinum members a sign of your appreciation. As I'm making a few more announcements, you will also see the names and the logos of the companies that support us at the Gold, Silver, and Bronze level, so please allow us to recognize them as we go on with our announcements. Their support enables us really to carry out a mission that sometimes we like to say a little casually is, if not the Chamber, then who? If not the Chamber and the business community, who will be working on education and healthcare and community development and transportation and infrastructure and all of the things that ensure that not only do we have a strong economic base in Manatee County, but we also have the very best possible quality of life for all of us and for the workforce that we want to attract and retain here in Manatee County. One way you can support that tonight is if you look to your right, for I guess depending on which side of the table you're sitting on, your right or your left, you'll see that we have more than 50 auction items tonight. I encourage you during the dinner break to get up and peruse that list, see if there's something you would like to take home. I was joking with someone, we always say we won an auction item, but you will be paying on your way out, and that's just one more way for you to support the Chamber's mission. And there is a long list of companies that donated fantastic items. You will see them listed also in the special insert in your program. So thank you so much to everyone who donated. I started being a little bit worried about that list because it was a wall of wine and a barrel of booze, and I was worried about the trend, but you are going to find amazing spa packages and golf packages, marketing opportunities for your business, and lots of things in between. Even a Seal, I understand, is coming to the Van Wezel. So there are tickets to the Seal concert, tickets to the Lecom Golf Classic that's coming, so lots of opportunities. And Alliance IT, I still am calling them Suncoast Business Technologies, but has donated our raffle item, and there will be staff members that come around throughout dinner if you would like to support the Chamber by buying a raffle ticket. He has donated a gorgeous white, gold, and diamond halo pendant, hand-selected by Tom and Donna Seguin of Suncoast Gems. Tom, a former chairman of our board at the Chamber. So if you haven't purchased your ticket, you'll have that opportunity. And so we are going to keep on with the agenda. Our goal is to get you out of here no later than 8:30 this evening. So you'll hear a lot about you and us and the Chamber, and look around the room, because the Chamber really is not just the business people that are in this room, but all of your colleagues back at the office that support what is now the largest chamber in the Tampa Bay area. For those of you that didn't know, from a membership perspective, your Manatee Chamber once again was named as the largest chamber in the Tampa Bay area. And then finally, before I call up our pastor for an invocation, I would like you all to help me recognize the Chamber staff, an incredible team that I work alongside that accomplishes so much on behalf of all of your businesses. We say that our members are the heart of our mission, and it's our staff team that helps take care of that heart. So thank you so much to the Chamber staff team for all that they do. And now I would like to invite up Pastor Michael Pestle from Harvest United Methodist Church, and he will share an invocation with us before our meal this evening.
Well, if it looks like I'm beaming to be here, it's because, one, I'm truly joyful, and second, I have a 6-year-old daughter, and she's coated every surface of our apartment with what I like to call the devil's dust, and you may know it as glitter. And my very last words with my wife before I drove out here, I was talking to her, and she gave me that look where I could tell she wasn't listening to anything I was saying, and she just started giving me kind of like a stank eye. And then she started walking toward me, and she did this to my forehead, and she goes, "You got glitter on your forehead." And I'm like, "Oh gosh, I'm gonna be in front of all these people, glitter crazy." And she goes, "It's okay, I got that. But there was also a piece in your beard, but I could see it from 5 feet away. The light was hitting it just right, but now it's blended in, and you got some on your coat." So I'm excited, and there's glitter to prove it, to be with you tonight. It's such a joy. It's an honor to get to offer the benediction here in a moment, but I am most excited to trade spots for a bit with Harvest's back row crew, comprised of one Jackie Dzelski and her husband Mike, along with incoming chairperson Bill Polton and his wife Tara, and a few other rebel-rousers. And so I'm excited to get to sit where they sit very often and look up and be part of what that experience is, to make faces occasionally and do some of that stuff. The truth is, I have a particular sweet spot with Jackie and the gang because they, so much more than the majority of those who might have some gray hair in my congregation, they really enjoy that I saturate my sermons with 90s pop culture references and Arrested Development references. But when I feel like I'm drowning out there, they're always in the back row saying, "Carry on, we believe in you." And I'm really grateful for that. But what we share in common, even more than that, and I think it's something I might share in common with you as well that are gathered in this room tonight, is that I think a whole lot of us just want this world to be a better place, and we want to have our part in making that so. When I think about what is true for the world to indeed be a better place and for us to do our part, I think that we consider what it is to do our very best for ourselves, but also for our families, for our neighbors, for our community, that our business is best served when it's the business of the divine lover of all those that God has created to be in our community and in our world. Our best efforts and our best care, mixed with a lot of joy, are what God would have for us. So let's take a moment to remind ourselves of our greater purpose and to thank the divine giver of all good things. Let's pray together. Most High God, for the privilege of serving your created people in this world, we give thanks. Indeed, Lord, our business at its purest center is your business of caring for your people. Lord, we see it played out through our treatment of our customers, our staff and employees, our business partners, and so many more. It's a joy, Creator God, to be part of doing something that indeed makes a difference. So we will be faithful in our part, asking that you continue to pour out your blessing on us. Pour it out on our families, pour it out on our communities of worship, our schools, our businesses. God, we ask that you would give the greatest of your blessings to those who are most in need among us. God, for tonight, we ask indeed that you would bless this meal, that you would bless the hands that have prepared it and serve it. God, bless the conversation that we'll have around the meal. Bless each part of this evening, the raising of funds to continue making this community a better place. Lord, bless the installation of Bill as the chairman and the work that will happen with this team that continues to serve you through the chamber. We give it and we give ourselves to you, trusting that anything and anyone in your hands is in the right place. With praise and thanksgiving, your people said together, amen. Amen.
And as we now prepare to enjoy dinner expertly prepared by the team at Pier 22, there is a note about your dessert if you haven't yet noticed. You have a variety of flavors of bundt cakes, beautifully packaged so that if you don't want to eat them right now, which you're welcome to do, no one is watching, you can also take them home. So thank you so much for that. But as we transition into dinner, we've asked the Pier 22 team to start clearing and serving, but we're going to enter dinner by sharing with you a very special video. We'll watch half of it as we prepare for dinner, and we'll watch the second half as we come out of a dinner break. And it's a new format for us this year to allow you to learn more about some of the priorities of our incoming chairman of the board, Bill Poulton, and to hear about some of the high points that Darcy Duncan, our outgoing chairman of the board, would share with you from her year leading our Chamber of Commerce. So last week we enjoyed some time at the METV studios, and so we will share the video, the first half with you now. Please enjoy your dinner, and we'll be back up in just a few minutes. We've got about 10 minutes for you here on the video. Thanks to the hospitality and talent of the METV team, we are able to have a leadership conversation with Darcy Duncan, our outgoing chairman of the board, and Bill Poulton, our incoming chair. Our hope is to allow you to get to know them a little bit better as they assume significant leadership roles within the business community, and also talk a little bit about some highlights of the year with the chamber and also what we're looking forward to. So Darcy, I'll start with you. You've come to the end of your year as chairman of the board, which I've been told from past chairmen is a bittersweet time. So share with our chamber membership some of the highlights of your year as chairman.
I would say my most favorite time was the breakfast with the chairman. It was such a great opportunity to get out, meet all the small business owners, large business owners too, but really get to understand the needs of the business owners. And it was really interesting to hear how many of them have the same issues. And I think sometimes we go back and we're at our businesses and we think that we all have the same, we're the only ones with the challenge, and it's everywhere. But it was really great to get out and meet people, learn about so many people and the businesses that are out there that I had no idea even existed. That was so special to me. My most favorite part of being the chair. It was such an honor for me growing up in Manatee County to serve our community. I cannot express how honored I've been to serve in this position. It is bittersweet, although Bill's going to be taking the reins and he's going to do a great job. And I'm a little disappointed, but I'll enjoy my last year as it has been this year. So, yeah.
You know, this past year was a big year for the Chamber. We tore down a building that we had occupied and originally built in the 60s to make way for new space for the Chamber in the city's parking garage project, and we are so grateful to the City of Bradenton for allowing us to be a partner. Tell us why a building is important. Why is this project going to serve the Chamber membership?
Well, it's iconic. Our location is iconic in downtown Bradenton, and it's so exciting, and the collaboration with the City of Bradenton and everyone in the community that's been such a part of the whole team to make it reality. So it's been really exciting, and to sit there and have the icon landmark for our tourists, our business owners to come in. We'll have all new technology. Will be a lot like our Lakewood Ranch location. It's just really exciting.
It is exciting, and we think about how the Chamber serves small businesses in particular. Bill, tell us a little bit more about what the membership can expect in that new space, from the role that the Chamber plays to bring people to the table to collaborate.
Yeah, it's going to be a great space, right? It'll be inviting, it'll be warm and welcoming, and it'll bring us to the new age in terms of a modern space that people want to congregate in. And not only that, as you said, Darcy, it'll be in the middle of downtown, but it's going to have state-of-the-art meeting rooms where we as a chamber will continue our work in advocating for both business as well as the quality of life for all in Manatee County.
And you both mentioned bringing that facility on par with our space in Lakewood Ranch and the opportunity that the Chamber has to bring people together through that Lakewood Ranch space. We used a lot of the design that we incorporated into the Lakewood Ranch space for our new Bradenton space as well. The good news, the Chamber knows how to do a ribbon cutting, right? So the membership can certainly anticipate an invitation to a big party when we cut the ribbon for that Bradenton space. And I will also mention how gratifying it has been to see Chamber leaders step forward to support the capital campaign for that space as well. We still have a little ways to go to be able to fully fund the campaign that will pay for the furniture, fixtures, equipment, and technology that will go into that space. But it was heartwarming to see how quickly businesses step forward to support the Chamber's mission through that campaign. Bill, you're with Tropicana, one of the region's largest employers. Darcy, you come from a small, homegrown business on the island. I think your 2 years coming up against each other are such a great example of the diversity within our Chamber membership. But Bill, for Tropicana, why have they encouraged and supported your involvement in the Chamber?
Yeah, great question. Tropicana has a long track record and legacy of community involvement and engagement. It's taken many different forms over the years, and I think really over the last 5 to 10 years, we've shifted our engagement to be leadership driven, to provide a leadership presence for organizations, all nonprofits in the community, but it's also a platform for even some of our young professionals to get involved in the community and get a leadership experience that they might not even be able to get at somewhere as big as Tropicana. So for those reasons, Tropicana has always been involved and will always be involved with the Chamber. I'd say the other piece of that too is there may be, people may think, why does Tropicana care about what happens in the community? Well, there's 1,000 people who work at Tropicana that live in Manatee County, one, so that's important to all of us. And the second reason is that there are policy issues that are important to our employees. In particular, affordable housing is a key policy that we're actively engaged in, we're advocating for in the community so that we can attract and retain the brightest individuals to work at Tropicana.
You touched on encouraging the young professionals at Trop to get engaged. Tropicana's involvement in MYP, the Manatee Young Professionals, has really increased over the past several years. So talk with us about the value of MYP to your employees specifically.
Yeah, first of all, shout out to the MYP table here from Tropicana in the audience today. So I think, as we've come to hire more and more young professionals at Tropicana, there's been a multifold approach to why we think MYP is so important for us. One is it's a way for us to provide a platform for young professionals to engage in the community, to get involved. So what we've learned about the young professional population in particular is they have a strong desire to be connected to the community where they live. And this is, again, just another avenue for them to make that connection. Selfishly speaking, for Tropicana, retention of leadership is important for us. And if our young professionals have a feeling of connection to where they work and live, they're more likely to stay. So it's been a retention tool for us as well.
And Darcy, you've had several staff members that have been involved with MYP as well. So from a small business owner perspective, why the engagement of your youngest employees in an organization like the Chamber and its MYP program?
Well, not only, the MYP program really is encouraging them from a leadership aspect, as Bill mentioned as well, but for them to get interaction with other leaders and learn from them and help them to understand and be more engaged in the community, and just the small steps to help them to, it's the stepping stones to get them out there. I mean, us as the leaders in our businesses, they're following and watching what we do, but I also want them to see what others do, because we're also learning from them as well. And I think MYP is just a great avenue for that. And it's really blossomed, the young ones that have come up through MYP. Not maybe so young, some of them. Okay.
We've all
We won't
aged
talk
out.
about that, exactly. We're all termed out, sorry.
Darcy, also speaking as an island business owner, this past year, our community and communities up and down the coast of Florida were faced with a crisis when it came to red tide. And I think that you brought such a unique perspective to the role that the Chamber played in bringing folks together to support businesses and their employees. Talk with us a little bit about some of the high points, if we can identify some, of the community's response, the business community's response to helping with the red tide crisis.
The response was overwhelming. And, me being an island girl, as everyone knows me, all my life living on Anna Maria, knowing and seeing the red tide blooms that we've had throughout the years, this was unlike anything any of us had experienced. A lot of that we learned was social media. That was very difficult for businesses to overcome and didn't know how to handle that. So the businesses came together unlike anything I'd ever seen, even though we see that from the Chamber and the interactions we have as supporting business to business. It was overwhelming support of the businesses. And also, everyone out in the community, we were encouraging people to live like a tourist, Christmas shop early. They all came out in droves and understood that there were days when the red tide wasn't so bad and you could come out and have a great meal, and there were discounts and the things that the restaurants did to encourage people, and the shops and et cetera. It was overwhelming, but it trickles down to everyone in the community. Every business, whether you were on the island, Cortez, out in East Bradenton, it affected all of us. And I think that's something that really people can see, that we all need to take this seriously. And I was very proud to be able to be a spokesperson for the island and really have my ear to the ground with the businesses and them come to me and discuss issues. We had our SBA, the Small Business Association, the loans that you set up at the Island Library that were very helpful for businesses that needed to apply for funding, knowing that there were people there that could help, because I think that really there were a lot of people that weren't really sure that there were lifelines out there and resources where they knew where to go, and also getting information out on updated red tide information. We were very good at spreading that out to all the businesses to let them know where to get the information and correct information, so they could give that to their employees, guests that are checking into our vacation rentals, people buying homes. A lot of people don't understand that. So it was so widespread, but it really brought everyone together. And I think the most fitting time was when we all sat at a long table on the beach and broke bread together and said, we're going to get through this together.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was just going to say, leadership starts with passion. And no better embodiment of leadership and passion and authenticity for the island than our past chairman. So, I'd like to thank you for demonstrating for all of us what great leadership looks like in a crisis. So, great job.
One of our most heavily viewed videos in all of last year on social media on the Chamber's Facebook page was Darcy, as chairman of the board of the Manatee Chamber, concerned about businesses from the islands to Lakewood Ranch, Ellenton to Palmetto, South County, Bradenton, and everywhere in between and beyond, was the unified message of the business community with Darcy as our spokesperson, as chairwoman of the board. So that was a high point for us.
It was, and it's a high point for me too, because I can now say I've gone viral. Thank you so much. Top that, Bill.
No.
Thank you. Okay.
No.
I hope you all are enjoying your dinner. I know that even the back row has been served, so hats off. Hats off to the Pier 22 teams for getting out an amazing dinner for us this evening. So we are going to continue with our program. Again, we know it's a school night. I have people signaling me with things. I think it's all good. But in order to keep on time, we're going to go ahead and get started. Please continue to enjoy your dinner, of course, as well as your dessert. So I know that many of you caught the first half of that video as we moved into the dinner hour, but what I would hope is that you all will catch the second half of the video that is a conversation between our outgoing chairman of the board, Darcy Duncan, and our incoming chairman of the board, Bill Poulton. So I would ask your attention for a short ending to the video that we started before dinner, and then I will get back up and we will carry on with some awards and recognition. So please enjoy a few more minutes of a conversation with Bill and Darcy, and we'll ask that you keep your conversation to a minimum. Thank you. The Chamber will be headed to Tallahassee next week during committee week to start speaking with our elected officials at the state level about the priorities of the business community here in the greater Manatee County area. Bill, what are some high points, some strong advocacy points that you would like to see the Chamber hit home based on the board-approved platform? Yep,
great timing given the fact that we just had Pancakes and Politics earlier this week. I think what we found at Pancakes and Politics was that our priorities are very much in step with the Manatee County delegation. So at Pancakes and Politics, we had Senator Galvano, we had Representative Robinson, Representative Newton, Representative Gregory, and all of them were in lockstep with the Chamber's priorities, two of which clearly are red tide and funding for research to go after red tide and understand it and come up with tools to fight it, and then water quality, right? Both of those are hand in hand, and we heard loud and clear from every member of the delegation that is a key priority for those in Tallahassee. So great for us there. I think a couple other pieces where we heard that were fully aligned with the delegation: education, investment in education at all levels, early childhood education, K through 12, and then post-high school education. That was all echoed by the delegation earlier this week. I think one that will always be on our platform will be transportation and infrastructure, and particularly this time of year, and probably for many people in the audience tonight, getting here was a challenge. So the Chamber has been out in front advocating with local and state level policymakers to get investment in creative ways to deal with some of the infrastructure challenges we have here. And last but not least, I'll put this plug in because it's near and dear to Tropicana, is the business rent tax as well. So we'll certainly be advocating for relief on that.
Great. You know, Darcy, you come up through 6 years of service on the Chamber's Executive Committee. I'm sure there have been surprises over the years, but tell us about what's been most important to you in your service to the Chamber as our outgoing chairman of the board.
Well, first, I can't believe that you've survived 6 years with me on the Executive Committee. Thank you so much. I will say this: when we bring tasks to the board, to our Executive Committee, challenges or things we want to advocate for, to watch the amount of knowledge that sits at the table and the brain power that we have, and then people collaborate together and take on an issue with enthusiasm, and the amount of issues that I can't even list that we have tackled in the last 6 years are incredible to me. And it is a testament to our board, our executive committee, our membership as a whole, all the committees that work so hard throughout the year. And it is just incredible to me to see how much we have accomplished.
And then maybe to close it off on these questions, Bill, Darcy mentioned the significant talent and engagement of our full board of directors. All of that is undergirded by more than 20 committees and task forces, 500 plus chamber members that serve on those committees to tackle the issues. What encouragement would you give to the membership tonight in their engagement for the year ahead?
Well, that's a real softball question, Jackie. Thanks. Get involved. That's what I would tell people. As Darcy said, there's over 20 committees that meet on a broad range of topics that are important to business and to the quality of life in this community. And if you have a particular passion, I'm sure there's a committee at the chamber that will allow you to get involved and advocate for policy at either the local and state level. So if you don't know who to ask, now you do. There's 3 people you can approach later tonight, and we can help you get engaged and make the right contacts.
Great. So to close it out, what I thought we could do tonight is to allow our membership to get to know Darcy and Bill a little bit better on the personal level. So instead of 20 questions, I think I have 9 questions rapid fire for you here to close it out. So for each of you, you can just chime in. Where were you born?
Evanston, Illinois.
Indianapolis, Indiana.
Your favorite subject in high school?
PE, of course.
Really?
Yes, really.
All right, I'll go the opposite end of the spectrum, Nerdville, chemistry.
Your first job?
I was a hostess at the Sandbar.
And I was a grill cook at Friendly's Ice Cream.
Your favorite college team?
Go Gators.
Not go Gators, go Blue Devils.
Duke Blue Devils. iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
iPhone.
Your favorite spot in Manatee County?
Tropicana.
Any vacation rental that is leased by Duncan Enterprises.
Your bucket list vacation destination?
South Africa.
Scotland and specifically St. Andrews.
Your favorite pizza topping?
Cheese.
Pepperoni.
And to round it out, since we are in the southern United States, sweet tea or unsweet tea?
As sweet as it'll get.
Orange juice, please.
Orange juice, please. You know, with product placement, we can do that. You all know we're welcoming our chairman of the board for 2019, Bill Poulton, with Tropicana. And for those of you that attended any networking events over the year, Darcy Duncan gave a very special door prize at just about every single coffee club and after hours of a little bubbly. So you all thought this was coffee.
Never.
In our cups, but
Mimosas.
here's to a fantastic 2018 and looking forward to 2019.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you so much for allowing us to share that conversation with you. It was a bit of a change in the program compared to previous years, in which we asked both our incoming and outgoing chairs to give a memorized speech, and we thought that this might allow us to share a little more of their personality and also share some photos throughout the year. So we appreciate your attention, and of course, hats off to the team. METV, Manatee Educational Television. I don't think there's a nonprofit in Manatee County that hasn't benefited from the expertise and involvement of Charles Clapsaddle and his team at METV. So we're going to move into the program now where we are going to bestow a President's Award to one chamber member. And as many of you know, the chamber has been in temporary space for about the past year as we were approached by the city of Bradenton on a very unique opportunity and partnership for the chamber to have brand new space for our Bradenton operations. But a big part of that puzzle was, where in the heck are we going to go once we tear down the Bradenton building to make way for the mixed-use parking garage project by the city. And so tonight I have the privilege of recognizing a chamber member company that stepped forward to answer that question of where are we going to go. So Kerry Ward and his team at Bank OZK extended tremendous hospitality to the chamber. We're still crashing there on the second floor for our Bradenton operations on their branch on Manatee Avenue. I know Kerry Ward is out of town, but would Jason Osborne with Bank OZK please make his way to the stage? I don't remember exactly where he's seated, but if he could come up. As I said, we are so grateful to Bank OZK for giving us a home for our chamber staff, leadership and membership, and even the public. We have been surprised by the thousands of folks outside of the chamber membership that have found us at our Bank OZK facility, and at every turn, their team has made it easy for us to be there. They even threw a big fat welcome to the hood party for us, and my guess is they're gonna throw just as big as a yay, you're leaving, I mean, sorry to see you go party for us here in a few months when we're ready to move back into our partnership project with the city of Bradenton. So, Jason, on behalf of the chamber, a President's Award for Bank OZK. Thank you so much. We'll take it. And now I have the honor of introducing your outgoing chairman of the board, Darcy Duncan with Duncan Real Estate. As Darcy comes to the stage, I know she is now a friend of every one of your businesses, whether you realize it or not. The amount of work, the past chairman in the room can certainly attest to the amount of work and time, the commitment away from the office and away from family that it takes to take on the lead role of our Chamber of Commerce, and Darcy has been no exception. And so not only is she a friend of every one of your businesses, but she's become a personal friend to me and our entire chamber team as well. So, Darcy, the stage is yours.
Good evening. I'll adjust the mic for Charles Clapsaddle, who I always do this, and I go out. I drive him crazy. He can't. I'm so glad this is the last time I had a microphone. Anyway, I am your official has-been, and now that I'm the outgoing chairman of the board, what an honor it's been to serve as your 2018 chairman of the Manatee Chamber of Commerce. It was a year during which we experienced many successes. Jackie shared with you a few of our accomplishments of the past year, and those successes came from the engagement of many of you in this room, of our membership, and our staff as well, and operating at such a high level. But that's not to begin to scratch the surface in telling the story of what the Chamber does for all of our businesses. I now have the distinct honor of introducing the past chairmen of the board who are with us tonight. I now have an even better appreciation of the leadership and significant commitment these men and women have given to the Chamber for the benefit of all of our businesses. I ask these past chairmen to please stand and that you save your applause until I have finished this list. These folks are a huge part of the legacy of the Manatee Chamber. Cliff Walters, 1991. Bob Turner, 1994. Ron Allen, 1996. Byron Shin, 2000. Carolyn Keller, 2002. Bob Beck, 2003. Rich Piero, 2005. Matt Caraway, 2009. Chris Pennywell, 2010. Jim Vett, 2011. Tom Seguin, 2013. Ray Dowling, 2014. Jonathan Fleece. I haven't seen you, Jonathan. Where are you? Hey, 2015. Trudy Moon, and I did find her even though she's the shortest chairman of all of them. Anyway, she's here. Trudy Moon, 2016, and then Kevin DeLallo, 2017. Oh, by the way, before I go any further, for those of you watching the video wondering if Jackie and I just lay around on the beach all day getting sunburns, people need to work on the color balance. I just want to say, because I haven't seen the freaking beach, even though I live out there in a year doing this position. So I just want you to know, and neither is Jackie, by the way. So we are not heirloom tomatoes or anything like that. So I don't know what happened, but anyway, there you go. Or my red hair just drowned everything out. I have no idea. Anyway. I also now want to take a moment to thank the elected officials who have joined us this evening. I hope that I acknowledge everyone in the room, but please hold your applause until the end. State Representative Will Robinson, Manatee County Commission Chairman Stephen Johnson,
Manatee County Commissioner Vanessa Baugh, Manatee County Commissioner Reggie Bellamy, Manatee County Commissioner Betsy Benak, Manatee County Commissioner Priscilla Wisnett Trace, Manatee County Commissioner Carol Whitmore, my fellow Islander, City of Palmetto Mayor Shirley Bryant. Unfortunately, Wayne Poston couldn't be with us this evening because he has the flu. City of Bradenton Councilman Patrick Roth, City of Bradenton Councilman Bill Saunders, School Board Chairman Dave Watchdog Miner, School Board Member Reverend James Golden, and Clerk of the Circuit Court Angel Colonesso. They have Angelina. I only know her as Angel. Thank you. Manatee County I'm not done yet. Hold on. Manatee County Supervisor of Elections Mike Bennett, and representing Florida State President Bill Galvano's office, Macy Moon, and representing Congressman Vern Buchanan's office, Gary Tibbetts. Thank you for making our chamber dinner your priority. I want to thank you to the Bradenton Herald. The Herald will be producing a special 2-page spread, one of which you have. It'll be in the paper tomorrow, but you all have a sneak peek copy at your table. We appreciate them being such a wonderful chamber member and donating their time and talent. You have an advocacy copy, that advanced copy at your seat, so if you need anyone to sign it, autograph it, you want to frame it, let us know. And I want to give a big thank you to Darren Hamer and all our friends at the Bradenton Herald. Thank you. Where's Chad? There you are. Okay. At this time, I'd like to recognize the 2018 retiring board members who are with us this evening. Would you please come forward to receive a token of our appreciation? Kevin DeLallo from Manatee Memorial Hospital, and Will Robinson of Blaylock Walters, and now our Florida State Representative for District 71. Thank you again so much. So each year, the chairman has the opportunity to recognize chamber members who have made special impact during their term. I guess I'd call it a year. It's not really a term. I don't know if we have term limits, all that stuff. Anyway, it's an opportunity for me to share my thanks to someone who really made a difference to me and for our chamber. So the first person I am honoring with the Chairman Award is Jim Boyd. Jim has not only been a friend for many years, but he has also been a mentor. He has always been there for me when I needed advice or just a sounding board. Jim's outstanding service in the Florida House of Representatives is a testament to his character. The culture he has created in his business is a reflection of his passion for our community. Several people within his organization are up-and-coming leaders and are very involved with our chamber currently. His organization has been a chamber supporter on many levels, and he is a true believer in what a chamber means to a community. The only flaw I can point out is that he's an FSU alum, but no one's perfect. Jim was not able to be here with us tonight. He has a good excuse. His daughter's getting married, although he forgot about it for a minute and thought, oh yeah, maybe I'll be around. He didn't know he was getting an award, of course, but, and then he went, oh wait, my daughter's getting married. Yeah, be good if you showed up for that. Anyway, so he has a good reason for not being here, and so Jackie and we stopped by his office last week to share the news of his Chairman's Award, so we're gonna roll a little video, so take a look.
Jim, it is my distinct honor to award you with the Chairman's Award for this year.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wow, to say I'm surprised would be an understatement. I don't know how or why I deserve this, but I could not be more honored. I love Manatee Chamber. I love what it stands for, and the business that it represents, both big and small, is so important to our community. And you've done a terrific job as chairman and representing us on that front. And I can tell you, I'd rather be here tonight because dinner would be a lot less expensive than Ryan this weekend at our daughter's wedding, but otherwise I would be here. But I'm just flattered, I'm humbled, and I'm very honored. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Jim, and we were so honored to have you in our community. Thank you.
Thanks.
I should have snuck out with the Gators call too. How offensive that was. Anyway, the second person I'm honoring this evening is Kevin DeLallo. I have been fortunate to work side by side with Kevin in good times and difficult ones too. He gave tremendous leadership to the chamber during a time of great loss and transition. His support and wisdom given to Jackie as she settled into her new role as our president and CEO was priceless. And Jackie shared with me on many occasions how important his leadership and mentor to her has been. Our chamber could not have been more blessed to have Kevin at the helm during a year filled with challenges. Kevin and I now have a bond that only those of you who have served in this position can fully understand. Even though I always felt a little guilty eating carbs in front of him because he's this heart-healthy CEO hospital guy, I'm really proud to call him my friend. Kevin, would you please come up? Next, I have the honor to introduce you to a very special young man. His name is Castriot Bishiva. He is a student at USF Sarasota Manatee and is the recipient of the very first Robert P. Bartz Memorial Scholarship. Castriot, would you please stand to be recognized? Where are you? He's over there. I know where you are. There you are. He was a little shy. He wouldn't come up here. You can still if you change your mind. I made you feel good. Okay. He informed me how he's been used to being on a big screen in a stadium on another scholarship he won. So I'm sorry I don't have a gigantic jumbotron for you, Castriot. Anyway, Castriot completed his AA degree at SCF and then transferred to USF Sarasota Manatee, where he is a senior enrolled in the College of Business. He's majoring in both finance and risk management and insurance. One of his professors said that out of 48 students in a Principles of Finance class, Castriot had the highest GPA. This is quite an accomplishment for someone who has a dual major and for someone who is also working 25 hours a week. Castriot is originally from Albania, and he speaks 3 languages fluently. Upon graduation, he'd like to remain in the Manatee, Sarasota area as a financial analyst position. USF Sarasota Manatee established a scholarship in Bob's name as a way to honor all that he did to support our community, particularly through his support of higher education. We are so pleased to let you know that the scholarship memorializing Bob is fully endowed at USF Sarasota Manatee to support a full or part-time junior and senior level students majoring in the College of Business. Award recipients must have a 3.0 higher GPA and be a student in good standing. Castriot, congratulations. Before passing the gavel, I would like to thank a few special people. First, my parents, Marion and Judy. Thank you for your love and encouragement. And all I can say is, because of that, you've made me the woman I am today. Thank you so much. Second, my sweetie Keith. Many know him as Keefers. He's over there selfieing right now. Actually, he doesn't know how to do that, so okay. Sorry, Keith. Thank you for your love and patience, and now that I have a few extra hours, you will not be going fishing without me. Thank you. Third, my Duncan real estate team. They say you are only as good as the company you keep, and my team is a testament to that. They went above and beyond with support they showed me throughout the year, and I am eternally grateful for all 16 of them, some of which are here this evening, and thank you so much. I'm sorry, I have to give them a round of applause. Lastly, a big thank you to Jackie and the chamber staff. Your compassion and commitment is infectious. Thank you for my bacon at early morning meetings, because it keeps me going. Don't tell the CEO of the hospital that. And always for making me look good when I really had no idea what the hell I was doing. So I'm incredibly proud of all of you and your amazing group of talented individuals. Thank you so much. The past year has been the most rewarding of my life. Being surrounded by so many leaders has brought out the best in me. I am leaving this role feeling empowered and more confident, words I never thought I would be saying. Thank you for believing in me, and it's been my honor to serve you. Now on to the man who's going to fill these flip-flops, because I will not wear heels, as everyone knows. And so can I get a drum roll, or as an island girl would say, a steel drum roll, and call it Bill Polton, our 2019 chairman of the board, so that I can have the honor of officially passing the gavel to you.
As always, great job.
Hey, you're awesome. So, Bill, congratulations on accepting, because you can't not accept now, just so you know, the chairmanship of the Manatee Chamber of Commerce. It has been a huge honor for me, and I'm so excited for what the coming year will bring under your leadership. So, the floor is yours.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I've been getting lots of coaching on the mic because I'm tall and it's short, so hopefully you all can hear me. First of all, I'd like to thank the chamber staff for not cutting any corners on platform or stage size. This has got to be the largest platform for an event. I feel so small up here on this stage. So thank you, Jackie, for the wise investment in the size of the stage. So, Darcy, where'd you go? Oh, no, come back up here. So, Darcy, I couldn't thank you enough for your support and setting me up for success. Your leadership this past year has been phenomenal, as we documented on the our coffee talk through the red tide crisis. And we'd like to show a small token of our appreciation for your leadership for the last year. I'd like to start with the very prestigious chamber plaque, the chairman's plaque. So. That's for you. And no, we're not done. We're not done.
Good.
So we have also have the chairman's pin. It is a custom 14-karat gold and diamond pin presented to you for your outstanding service. Tom and Donna Seguin from Suncoast Gems, thank you for your generosity. This is awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I know you'll wear it with pride.
I will.
Don't go. We're not done quite yet. Now, this is the part the chamber staff loves because they get to put together a photo album and a signed, framed picture for you from the staff. So, on your way back to your seat, please pause and take a look. We're not going to make you try and carry all this stuff at one time.
I made Kevin do that last year.
Yeah. So, thank you very much.
Thank
Great
you.
job.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
While Darcy's returning to her seat, we would be remiss not to recognize Keith. Keith, after all, is the one who, for the past year, has had to support, provide loving support and patience for Darcy as she's attended many events. So, Keith, thank you for sharing Darcy with us for the past year. So, now for my first order of business as your new chair, I would like to introduce the leaders who will be serving with me for the next year. Their pictures will be shown on the screen behind me, and I will do my best to pronounce everyone's names properly as well as their businesses. So, starting with the 2019 Executive Committee, myself. Then we will have Darcy Duncan, immediate past chairman, Duncan Real Estate. Ernie Withers, chairman-elect, Mercedes-Benz of Sarasota. Christy Cardillo, vice chair of membership, Carr, Riggs and Ingram. Rick Bizio, vice chairman, public policy and small business, The Educated Franchisee. Phil Baker, vice chairman, workforce and community development, Boyd Insurance and Investment Services.
Jeff Podobnik, Treasurer, Pittsburgh Pirates and Bradenton Marauders. Jackie Dzelski, President and CEO, Manatee Chamber of Commerce. And now for your 2019 board members. Mark Barnaby, Blaylock Walters. Jason Bartz, NDC Construction Company. Kevin Baylor, Alliance IT. Richard Bedford, Schrader Manatee Ranch. Bruce Boddy, Raymond James and Associates. Mayor Shirley Bryant, City of Palmetto. Carlos Bucaris, Port Manatee. Cassandra Burns, Wagner Realty. Brian Carter, Malden and Jenkins, CPA. Dr. Bill Colgate, MCR Health. Ted Ehrlichman, CareerSource Suncoast. Janelle Esposito, Esposito Law Group. Darren Hamer, Bradenton Herald. Steve Hall, All Trust Insurance. Stu Henderson, Folly Bryant Architecture. Sharon Hillstrom, Bradenton Area Economic Development Corporation. Dr. Karen Holbrook, University of South Florida, Sarasota, Manatee. Ed Hunziger, Manatee County Government. Commissioner Steve Johnson, Manatee County Board of County Commissioners. Karen Lepensi, Lepensi Plumbing, Pools and Air. David Miner, School District of Manatee County. Stuart Moon Jr., Air and Energy. John Nash, Osceola Pines Timber. Jeff Nixie, Accurate Benefit Solutions. Bruce Patnod, IMG Academy. Rick Piccolo, Sarasota Bradenton International Airport. Mayor Wayne Poston, City of Bradenton. Dennis Regasta, Southwest Florida Water Management District. Dr. Teresa Raw, Team Health. Cindy Saunders, School District of Manatee County. Chris Sherrick, Sherrick Solutions. Vicki Silver, Feld Entertainment. Brian Thomas, State College of Florida. Doug Van Dyke, Leadership Simplified. And Carrie Ward, Bank OZK. Thank you all for your commitment and leadership. It's going to be a great year. So one of the biggest assets we bring to our community is the ability this chamber has to get leaders together, both those who own their own business, work in large businesses, or even those in our local and state elected officials. I want to personally thank the board I will be working with this year for your commitment. I'd like to thank a few other folks as well, and I'd like to start off by saying that last night while I was arguing with my 4-year-old, well, maybe cajoling, negotiating, and blackmailing with her to eat the dinner that was served, which is a nightly occurrence in our house, and all those with 4-year-olds understand that dilemma. My wife turned to me and said, and reminded me of what advice I gave her several years ago when she was preparing remarks for such an event. She said, "You remember what you told me?" And I said, "Yes. I remember you asked for some loving, supportive advice on how to best prepare your remarks. And do you remember what you said?" And I said, "No, I don't." And she said, you told me, keep it short, no one will remember anyway. So with that in mind, with that spirit, I will try and follow my own advice. So it's really an honor to stand before everyone tonight and officially accept this chairmanship of this great chamber. You know, I'm not here because of anything I've done by myself. I am a product of so many people, some here tonight, some not here, and I'd like to recognize them. I'd like to put it in this context. Someone, and I can't remember her name, many years ago wrote a book called It Takes a Village. I'd like to share with you a little bit about my village. First and foremost, I'd like to start with Bob Bartz. 10 years ago, I was relatively new to Manatee County, and I was part of Leadership Manatee. I didn't know much about chambers. I didn't really know what they did, but I was part of the Leadership Manatee class of 2009-2010. I didn't know Jackie. All I knew Jackie, she was the scary woman who would tell everyone about the rules for getting on the bus, what time to be there, where you could park. So she kind of like intimidated me. So I was like, I'm really not sure what this chamber thing's all about. But I got through Leadership Manatee, enjoyed it, learned a lot about the county, and shortly after graduation, I was actually taking a tour with a group of this facility shortly after it had been undergone a significant renovation. And in that tour group was Bob Bartz. And Bob and I were walking around, and we were chatting. And at one point, he stopped, and he turned, and he looked at me. And he said, "Bill, we need to get you on the chamber board." I'm like, I had never in a million years considered that as a path for me. And I think that speaks volumes to Bob in so many ways, is Bob had that unique ability to see something in me that I couldn't even see in myself. And he saw a vision, he had that vision that I could be on the board and maybe one day stand up at this podium. So I will forever be indebted to Bob and his vision and his mentorship for me. I'd like to thank also my Tropicana team. There's a number of them here tonight. The MYP group, give it up back there. All right, we got 10 or 11 from the MYP group. They're the group that keeps us all young at work every day. They are the group that makes me look good every day at work. So I thank you all for being here and for continuing the legacy of Tropicana's engagement and commitment to the Chamber. I'd like to thank 3 other folks who are here. Joe Fernandez, who is sitting at the Polton family table, is a longtime friend of mine, Leadership Manatee grad, a great friend. We've had a lot of fun together, and we're going to have a lot of fun going forward. I'd also like to recognize Cliff and Kriya, sitting at the Manatee Hospital table here. They're my partners in crime for the last 4 years. When I said I wanted to do this chamber executive board and potentially be a chairman someday, they're the ones who had to cover for me and support me. And you know, it's not just support, but they do cover for you. They cover for you in meetings and all sorts of ways. And I would not be there, I would not be here today without them. So I thank you both for being here tonight and for the last 4 years. Also at the family table, besides someone who's not actually in my family, is my family. I'd like to recognize a few folks here. My mom is here from Charlotte. We're certainly hoping soon to be able to say that my mom, who lives locally in Bradenton, is here with us tonight. Right, Mom? We're working on that, right? So I'm certainly, like Darcy, I'm not here without my mom and dad. My dad passed 4 years ago. But I know he is here tonight. I know he's proud of me. And, you know, Mom, thanks. And thanks, Dad. I have 4 kids. 3 of them are here tonight. We did not bring the 4-year-old for obvious reasons. She would be throwing things at me right now if she were here. But my 3 older kids, Jack, Emily, and Tyler, are here. 2 teens and 1 nearly a teen. They will never understand what I'm about to say, which is I couldn't be more proud to be their father. They will never know that feeling, as you all do who are parents, until they are one day parents themselves. So I love you all. I'm proud of you, and I'm so happy that you're here tonight. But there is no rush for you to be parents of your own. Take your time. Take your time. So my partner in crime, my true partner in crime, my wife Tara. For most of you, probably many of you didn't even know who I was for a long time. You probably better knew me as Tara's husband, right? So Tara has been an incredible resource and support structure for me. And I'm not only saying this because 2 years ago at this very same event, Kevin DeLallo said, at CEO school, they always tell you to recognize your wife. Well, I've never been to CEO school, and I won't go, but I did learn from Kevin, right? But I'm recognizing Tara tonight. It is true. We met on the Leadership Manatee bus. That's where we started 10 plus years ago. And we now have a Leadership Manatee baby who is not here with us tonight, who's a 4-year-old. Early on in our, before we got married, this conversation actually happened. I had someone in the chamber approach me who knew at this point that Tara and I were seeing each other and said, "You know you're dating a Manatee County treasurer, don't you?" And I'm like, "I guess I do now." He says, "We're all watching you." I'm like, I was warned. So she is a treasure in our house. She is a treasure for me. She is a wife, mother, daughter, sister, and stepmother. And There's no playbook for being a stepmother. She's awesome at it. It's not an easy ride at times for those other step parents out there, but she is a true partner. I appreciate her. I love her. And we're on this journey together. I couldn't do this without you, babe, so thank you so much. Did I get her? Is she crying a little bit? Okay, good. All right, I got her. Good. All right, lastly, I want to recognize and thank the chamber staff. We don't look nearly as good as we do without the chamber staff. It's a lot of heavy lifting to get us to look this good. For the leadership team, Kim, Michael, Terry, thank you so much. And I'd also like to recognize Jackie. She was scary 10 years ago to me. She's no longer scary today. She is a true friend. I value her friendship. I value her mentorship. She has been an incredible leader for this chamber for many years, and as its president and CEO the last 2 years, she stepped in under very difficult circumstances and has handled herself with grace and dignity every step of the way, and she represents all of us, not only as a chamber, but as a local community so well every day. So thank you, Jackie. All right. So I'll wrap it up. I am definitely humbled and honored to be your chairman. There have been some giants in this community who have preceded me, and following in their footsteps is an awesome feeling. My commitment, my pledge is to continue the journey to provide the type of leadership that this chamber and this community deserves, and I will give it my best every single day. So, I'd like to move on to the part of the evening that is truly special, and that is to the Bob Bartz Award. As most of you know, the Chamber created the Robert P. Bartz Award as a way to honor the legacy of Bob Bartz. It gives us an opportunity to celebrate all the things we loved about him while recognizing leaders in our community who are making a difference and creating their own legacies. I think it's exactly what Bob would want us to do, probably except for the part about naming an award after him. He probably wouldn't be super thrilled about that. He'd want us to celebrate leaders like all of you here tonight for all that you do to make our community a better place. You know that our second annual Robert P. Bartz Award honoree is Ron Allen, but before Ron comes up, I want to share a bit about Bob with you. You'll find a special tribute to him in your printed program right in the center spread. I hope that you'll take the time to read it. Bob was such a special leader, and his legacy is built upon his love of our community, his integrity, his commitment to using the Chamber's mission to strengthen local businesses and ensure we were always working on quality of life issues too. Bob was president of the Manatee Chamber for almost 35 years and was an icon in the chamber industry across the country. He worked tirelessly in ways that will benefit our community for decades to come. He also built an incredible team of staff professionals, business leaders, and member volunteers, and that work was rewarded with significant accolades for our chamber. I think Bob would be so excited about the future, including the chamber's new space in downtown Bradenton. It was Bob's forward-thinking vision, coupled with SMR's big picture planning and significant generosity in wanting the chamber and United Way to have offices in Lakewood Branch, that made that project a reality 10 years ago. Joining us tonight are Bob's wife, Vicki, his son, Jason, and daughter-in-law, Catherine, and their 3 daughters, Bob and Vicki's granddaughters, Juliana, Adeline, and Jocelyn. Now, please allow me to invite Mr. Cliff Walters, our inaugural Robert P. Bartz Award for Outstanding Community Leadership honoree from last year, who will introduce Ron Allen tonight.
Bill, we needed a big stage because we're honoring a big fellow, Ron. Just wanted to say, keep that in mind. And you may not be scared of Jackie, but I'm scared of Jackie. I do what she tells me. It is indeed an honor this evening to introduce my friend Ron Allen as the 2019 recipient of the Bob Bartz Award for Outstanding Leadership. Clearly, this is an upgrade over last year's selection. And I'd like to first address the elephant in the room. Clearly, to me, it is clear that a criteria for this award is not the lack of hair. But we do reward and celebrate integrity, character, and love of community. And that is Ron Allen. But how did Ron get to where he is? Where did this young whippersnapper develop these characteristics? I interviewed Ron, and he told me they came in the fields of Pennsylvania on farms that he worked as a young man, where he learned a true work ethic. He learned how to get things done. He learned the value of giving all in order to achieve. So in those fields, he then goes to college. That's where you get to play, right? Not Ron. Ron poured concrete through college to help pay for his education, and he went to college at night. Ron worked hard to graduate, got married, came to Florida, ended up at NDC. He's working there, and Dick Olson one day says, "Hey, get over to the United Way, see if you can help him out." Ron runs into the matriarch of Manatee County, Pat Glass. Pat says to Ron, "You work here, you give back here." She was maybe the Jackie of her day, because Ron did what he was told to do. And as NDC grew, Ron's leadership within that firm meant NDC grew, they gave more back to the community. The employees inculcated within their culture the commitment to give back. For you see, Ron is a builder. Now, I know most of you will join with me that when you hear that Ron is a builder, you immediately go to Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. This does work, by the way. Henry said, he proclaimed, to build, that is the noblest of the arts." Ron has built a blended family of 5 children, 2 grandchildren with his wife Dawn. Ron has built a number 5,000 residential homes, multiple office buildings, iconic commercial buildings in this community. He is an artist. This artist has employed today over 450 employees that have productive jobs, that support their families, they give back. What did Pat Glass tell him to do? Back to the community. And of course, Ron builds this community through his efforts of being a donor, of being a door opener, and being a doer. His time, talent, and treasure goes back into the community. Now, he has a long list of leadership, board service. I think he served on 20 boards, chaired most of them. No, I am not going to recite that. It's already been published. But I want to mention a couple things. The Pittsburgh Pirates didn't have just one foot out the door. Their other foot was in the air. And Ron took the leadership to say, what can we do as a community to sustain baseball in Manatee County? And like most things Ron touches, it succeeded. When Ron was chair of the chamber, they created Real Life 101 for youth in our schools. And what was the purpose of Real Life 101? It was to teach youth the importance of a work ethic. And I want it clear tonight that you all understand. None of those children went to Pennsylvania to work on the Allen farms. But they did learn about a work ethic. He also, under his tenure, started the Downtown Redevelopment Initiative. How successful has that been? Ron, in a published interview, talked about how uncomfortable it was to accept the award. And my immediate thought was, Ron, you don't have to sleep with the award. But I know what Ron was really saying. He doesn't really enjoy the limelight. He doesn't like being brought out in this type of circumstance. But Ron, we want to honor you tonight. You are a man worth knowing. And I would like everyone to join me in welcoming you to the stage to accept this award tonight.
Thank you so much for this recognition. I should probably take a break and let all the hecklers do their heckling. One immediate thing that came to mind as I was coming on stage and getting my notes out was, I remember the board that said I was chairman in 1996. My notes were much smaller in 1996 than they are today. I can't thank enough of the Chamber for honoring me with this award. Being able to follow Cliff as last year's recipient is very special because Cliff, as you can see, can make some money at McCurdy's if he wanted to. But more importantly, he has been an anchor to this community, and I'm just truly blessed to follow him in that award. Growing up, my parents were very important to me in sort of formulating what I thought was important, both in business and in the community. My dad was my mentor, taught me everything I knew about business. Passed away a few years ago. I miss him dearly, but I continue that legacy. My mom is here tonight, Ginny, and my sister Denise and her husband Ken. We've had lots of fun. I learned a lot about humor from my sister. Some of it was good, some of it was bad. But one thing that my sister Denise used to do was she taught me humility, because as I always tried to get the best of her, she was very good at getting back at me. So I appreciate that trait you continue to give me. When I got here in 1984, I met Bob soon thereafter. And he was one of those kind of gentlemen that the minute you met him, he became an instant friend. We spent lots of time together. We ended up being in the same neighborhood, a few doors away from each other, which is how we got Jason to become the household pooper scooper when he was a young kid, which you may have seen in the article. We tell everybody that's how you start in our company. You start pooper scooping and you move up. So, but Bob had that unique ability. He is probably the best person I've ever met in my life for consensus building. He took everybody's issues. He took everybody's, when he talked to them, And back then, I was a young 25-year-old, and they brought up the Pittsburgh Pirates, which Bob and I spent many hours with Bob Laylock and county commissioners and city council members and mayor trying to work through a way to keep the Pirates here. And at that age, I was much more blunt with what I wanted to tell both the city and what I wanted to tell the Pirates at different times of the negotiations. Bob was always there to be that mediator of, let's listen really to what everybody's saying. And I can't tell you how many times in my career I sat with Bob and did that and saw that from Bob. And that's probably a trait I hope most people in the room will say, I've learned over the years. I'm not as blunt as I used to be. And I just can't say enough about how Bob would consensus build on whatever that issue is over his entire career. I learned about diplomacy and good statesmanship. I learned from Bob that there are community issues you want to delve into, the ones you don't want to, and ones that there are both sides to the equation and you need to tread lightly. And that's something that I think has helped this community grow. I will tell you that just like they mentioned Pat Glass, I think Bob Bartz is one of those individuals that we say, he was put here for a reason. I'm not really sure what actually drove him here, but when he got here, there was a reason for him to be here. And the community is totally blessed because of his time here. I also want to thank Bob for allowing us and sharing his beautiful family with us. Wife Vicki, Jason and Catherine, Juliana, Adeline, and Jocelyn, thank you for being so good tonight. And I hope the dessert was good for all of you. But Bob loved his family, and we appreciate that he allowed us and continues to allow us to be part of their family. Also, Bob, in a way, has helped my family because I have my lovely wife, Dawn, in the audience. I have my children, Cam and Morgan, Lizzie and James, Melissa and Colby, and Levi, all here tonight with my mother and my sister and my brother-in-law. That's something else Bob gives me. He's given me the opportunity to have my family together for this event, and I always thank him for that. As far as NDC goes, leadership has always been very important to us as a community. This is not something, as I'm getting this award tonight, which I greatly appreciate, but the leadership for our organization comes from three individuals. Myself, my two partners, Gary Huggins and Gary Esprin, which are both in the audience tonight. Together, we make those decisions. We decide and we look at how do we better our community. It's so important that for a community to survive, and the community's been very good to us, and we sort of feel, and it sounds a little shallow, but it's not meant to be. We feel the obligation to give back to the community that's been so good to us. And so it's hard to talk a lot about what we do when we see everything out in the community. I pulled up, which I've had for a number of years, a quote from Martin Luther King that I really think is important for when you talk about leadership in our community. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. I can never be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be. This is interrelated structure of reality. I don't know how you can put that in any better shape. And this is sort of like, we're talking to the choir here. Each of you are here because you're an active participant in our community. And I thank you for that on an everyday basis. Because no one person can make and move our community from the small community it was when I got here in 1984 to what it's become today. I think probably one of the most rewarding things that I've had, because I have been involved in many organizations and chaired lots of events and lots of those organizations. Volunteers are so important to it. But when you go into those different organizations and you see the work of those people that are running them every day, Bob Brzezinski with Goodwill, and I'm going to name a few because I think it's so important. Dawn Stanhope with the Boys and Girls Club. Janine Amick, I have a special place in her heart because that was a 9-year project for us that we did together. We grew together. But the dynamite of every day showing up, knowing that she has to do the work to accomplish the success of the arts in our community. Mary Glass with the Education Foundation. Elena Casella with Foundation for Dreams. And I would not in the least forget the Chamber of Commerce. The one thing I always will have pride in is the year I was chairman in 1996 is the year we hired Jackie. So I'm not trying to age you, Jackie, wherever you are, but I find that very rewarding that somebody that we chose to hire way back then is now leading the chamber into the next level. Finally, I just want to say, if everybody takes the time and really looks at our community, it's a jewel. And I will tell you that there isn't any place else in the world that I would want to live. The only leadership group I think I've left out, other than elected officials, because you do your own thing and we're proud of you every day. We might not agree with you every day, but most days, I would say sometimes, but we are appreciative of everything you do. But I think it's also, we have a leadership group within our community, which are our first responders. And I think every day we should thank them for what they do, because they allow us as a community to continue to grow and prosper. And it allows us, most of us individuals, not to spend a lot of time worrying about our health and our safety, because that's being covered out there in the world by that leadership group. So you ought to pray for them every day. I can't thank you enough. God bless.
Thank you, Ron. While he's taking a seat, I thought it would be illustrative to share something about Ron. So not quite 2 years ago, when the city approached us about potentially moving in to the new parking garage, the new chamber space, we didn't really have, they had a very tight timeline. They needed an answer from us. Executive committee got together and we literally had almost no information. We had a concept. We had some pictures of a parking garage somewhere in the Fort Myers area, and we had some sketches of what maybe this parking garage might look like. We see the beautiful drawings today, and it's a no-brainer. Back then, we had pretty much nothing, and it was a difficult decision to decide to tear down that iconic structure and move into a parking garage. And when we were discussing it, we had an important meeting one day, and Ron and Carl Callahan came in to talk to the executive committee. And after we were done, we talked to the executive committee, and I know Bob would have been the first one to point this out. We all said, Ron's leading this effort. Ron is building this building. He's a past chair. It's not that big of a leap of faith. We're going to do it. So we did it. Drive by there today. It's a no-brainer. It's a beautiful structure, and I can't wait until we move in later this year. So, Ron, thanks for being there. I believe that Bob would want us to celebrate each other. This award is about the achievements business leaders like Ron strive for every day to make Manatee County an even greater place. I encourage all of us to use Ron's example as an inspiration. There is something so special about our community, and the biggest reason is the people like you who are sitting in this room tonight. Thank you for all that you do and all that you will do in the future. Let's give our community a rousing round of applause for the legacy we each are creating and for what we are creating together. Thank you. All right, before we get to the fun stuff, the raffle, those of you who signed your names on those auction forms, you may be a winner. The list of winners is out in the lobby. If you are a winner, break out that credit card because they're gonna get you right there. So I'd like to call forward Kevin Baylor from Alliance IT, who is going to pull the raffle winner for us. Come on up, Kevin. And just before we pull it, just to remind you what it is, you probably all saw it as it was being walked around. It's a gorgeous ladies' white, gold, and diamond halo pendant that has 17 brilliant cut diamonds. Gorgeous. All right, go ahead and pick one out, Kevin. Survey says Bruce and Lori Abramson. Come get your pendant. All right, thank you, Kevin. All right, we're wrapping it up, folks. We want to give a special thank you to the many individuals and businesses who helped to make this evening's festivities possible. Their names are on the screen behind me, or they will be. Again, I'd like to thank Charles Clapsaddle and METV for the fantastic job with the video and for the sound and the tonight. And I also want to thank our elected officials who are here tonight. Your partnership is so important and meaningful to all of us. I'd like to invite, so the last prize, your centerpiece at your table, the person whose birthday is closest to mine gets to take it home. My birthday is? What is it, Tyler? December 13th, that's right. So those of you closest to December 13th, take it home. Finally, look around the room. You are the Manatee Chamber, and if not the Manatee Chamber, then who? We're excited about 2019, and thank you for making the work of this chamber possible. Meeting adjourned.